Welcome to another RSR. Today, we are reviewing Miami Dolphins 31, Buffalo Bills 34, New York Giants 31, Minnesota Vikings 24, and Baltimore Ravens 17, Cincinnati Bengals 24. In 2023 NFL Super Wild Card Sunday, the second day of Wild Card Weekend. 5 games down, 1 to go. 9 teams remain, 1 more to be eliminated tomorrow night. The main event of the weekend is Tampa versus Dallas. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll be live for that tomorrow, but let's get to this. First off, Dolphins versus Bills. Wild game. Didn't think the Dolphins would be as close as they were to winning this game, but they gave a good fight. Dawson Knox starts the game with a 6-yard touchdown catch to make it 7-0. Bills get it back in the first quarter. James Cook, 12-yard touchdown run to make it 0-14. Tyler Bass makes it 0-17 at the start of the second quarter. And the Bills, you think, are going to run away with this game, and they got the Dolphins dead to rights because they're playing a third-string quarterback, the Dolphins, and their team just isn't that great compared to the Bills. But guess what? They make their way back. Second quarter, Jason Sanders with a 40-yard field goal to make it 3-17. A 48-yard field goal to make it 6-17, and a 37-yard field goal to make it 9-17. And then right before the half, Mike Gesicki gets a 7-yard touchdown catch to make it 17-17. The Dolphins come all the way back, but are still down at the half because Tyler Bass hits a 39-yard field goal to make it 17-20. That's the way we go into half, and the Bills still have the lead. But the Dolphins come out. Zach Seaver gets a scoop and score touchdown to make it 24-20. But the Bills calm down and then start taking the reins of this game. Cole Beasley just came out of retirement, but he's on the main Bills team. Gets a 6-yard touchdown catch from Josh Allen to make it 24-27. Gabe Davis finally gets a touchdown in this game, which he played pretty well in, not going to lie. 23-yard touchdown catch, 24-34. Then Jeff Wilson with a 1-yard touchdown run to punch it in to make it 31-34 for the Dolphins. And there you go. The finals, 31-34. Dolphins go for it. They don't get it on 4th down when they needed to. Bills get to kneel it out. And they survive. Because the Bills did not play their best game today at all. The Dolphins probably played the best game that they could with a third-string quarterback without Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, they still have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They do. This is true. But, and Mike Gesicki, I guess, this is true. They do have those players. They played well. Defense played well too. But the thing about Miami is that their coaching and inexperience in playoff games pretty much shot themselves in the foot. They took too many delay-a-game penalties, especially late on in that last drive. And that basically put them in a position as to where they had to do more to convert that 4th down to save the game or save the chances to at least send it to overtime. But in the end, the Bills showed their power defensively. They stood up with a little bit of help, but they still stood up. They stopped them. They kneeled it out. They got it done. The Bills did not play the best game, and I told you they're beatable. I said the Bills are beatable. I didn't think they were by the Dolphins, but even though the Bengals struggled, that was more of a knockdown, drag-out AFC North fight that we normally see. I'll get to that. But the Bills, they just have not looked the same this year because since Brian Daboll's left, which we'll get there as well, ironically enough, we'll get there as well, they just haven't been the same offensively, especially in the red zone. Something's different. And I can't quite put my finger on it. They still are a great team, the Bills are. I'm not saying they're not. But there's something that I just can't put my finger on. And maybe it's just the change in system, the slight change in system. Maybe the offense is just not as clinical as they were under Daboll. I'm not sure. But I saw that in the Giants later in the day, And you know what? We will jump off of that. The Bills had a good game. The Dolphins played better than I thought. Skylar Thompson deserves plaudits for playing as well as he did as a third-string rookie quarterback, replacing Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater, even though I do think had Teddy Bridgewater played, the Dolphins would have won. That's how close they were. That I think if Teddy played, they would have won. No joke. But let's jump off. Next up, the Giants-Vikings, the NFC game. Kirk Cousins starts off punching the ball in for a 1-yard touchdown run, 0-7. Saquon Barkley answers, 28-yard touchdown run, 7-7. And Isaiah Hodgins, a 14-yard touchdown catch to make it 14-7 Giants. Graham Gano at the start of the second quarter makes it 17-7 with a 25-yard field goal. KJ Osborne makes it 17-14 with a 9-yard touchdown catch for the Vikings, which sends it 17-14 at the half. But Daniel Bellinger, who played damn good in this game, and I did not know his name before, but I sure do now. Daniel Bellinger, 9-yard touchdown catch to make it 24-14, 10-point lead. Punches it in, great run in. Irv Smith scores a 3-yard touchdown catch for the Vikings to make it 24-21. Greg Joseph with a 38-yard field goal to tie it up, 24-24. Then Saquon Barkley punches it in, 2-yard touchdown run to make it 31-24. And the Vikings, the last play of the game, 4th and 8, they check it down on 4th down. Kirk Cousins throws a check down, 4th and 8. Final play of the game to TJ Hawkinson. They only got 4 yards. It was 4th and 8. They checked it down. And they pissed the game away. Giants win 31-24. The Vikings were at home. By the way, had the Bills winning, I was right about that. I was wrong about the Vikings winning. I didn't think the Giants were the better team. Something about the Giants in the playoffs is they have a horseshoe stuck up their ass. I don't know why. And I've had to be on the brunt of it in my life that the Giants have a horseshoe up their ass in the playoffs. Brian Daboll's a good coach, don't get me wrong. I didn't expect them to win or play as well as they did. Saquon Barkley had a great game. Daniel Jones is somehow him. Again, Daniel Bellinger, almost called him Cody before I checked again. See, I didn't know Daniel Bellinger's name. I do now. Played a damn good game for the Giants. They're a good team. Brian Daboll, I know he's a good coach. And I knew he was doing good with the Giants. I didn't know that he changed the culture this much. They're back to the Tom Coughlin era, but offensively instead of defensively. We're seriously going to get Bucks versus Giants in the NFC Championship, aren't we? In Tampa. We are, aren't we? I have a bad feeling about this. I legitimately have a bad feeling about that. I don't like where this is going. Giants played a damn good game, and I respect it. I hate to have to respect it, but I respect it. The Giants are good again. And the NFC East will still somehow be the NFC Beast again next year. And I'm sure the Commanders will be better next year, so that's even crazier. With that being said, though, the Vikings, you're at home and you were 13-4? How? Like, I get you had a lot of one-score games, and as I said, you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat multiple times this year. I thought you were still better than the Giants. Kirk Cousins wilted like a rose that you don't water as soon as he got under pressure. Kirk Cousins is a joke of a quarterback. And this man's getting paid, what, $80 million over his contract? It's not $80 million a year. Can't be, can it? He got a payday. He got the bag to play for the Minnesota Vikings, and he doesn't deserve it. Wow. That was a horrible game. Horrible. Horrible. Horrible offense. Defense was softer. than a tamale, softer than frickin' snow. They just got gashed. Horrible defense. Special teams didn't screw over the Vikings this time. It normally does. Not this time. Offense sucked. Justin Jefferson. I didn't say his name. Now, did he? Did I? Did I? There's a reason. He didn't show up. Now, he did score a 6-yard touchdown catch, but he was out before he hit the pylon. They overturned it. But that's all he did. And if they could retcon it, so will I. Because other than that, what did he do? Nothing. Not a damn thing. I'm shocked. Vikings, you suck. You just suck. That's all. You suck. Never, and I mean ever, make the playoffs again. I don't want to see it. That's where we'll stop there. Finally, with your Sunday night football game, your 5th game of the weekend, the semi-main event, which they actually picked a good one here. Baltimore Ravens 17, Cincinnati Bengals 24. The first half, Bengals looked like they were going to get out to an early lead. Then they looked like they were about to face danger. And then the second half, Zach Taylor wakes them up, lights a fire under their ass. He makes some really good halftime adjustments. They still go a long way being tied. Mid-4th quarter, there's a crazy play that gives them the win or the position to win, and then they hold on. Crazy. How'd that go? Let me fill you in. The only score into the first quarter, Evan McPherson, 39-yard field goal, 0 for 3. Perfect until Jamar Chase has a 6-yard touchdown catch, makes it 0-9. And I said 0-9 because Evan McPherson finally missed a kick in the postseason. Extra point, no good in the second quarter. J.K. Dobbins, 2-yard touchdown catch, punches it in, puts it over, and they call him in, breaking the plane, even though I think he broke the plane less than Justin Jefferson did in the Vikings game, but they give it to him anyway. 7-9, and J.K. Dobbins is carrying the Ravens. Justin Tucker, 22-yard field goal at the end of the half to make it 10-9, and that's where the Bengals were facing danger because they just basically let the Ravens gash them up all the way to a chip shot, a super chip shot, because let's remember, we're talking about Justin Tucker here, a super chip shot, which should have been, honestly, a touchdown. But the Bengals sit tight, stand firm, hold Justin Tucker to a super chip shot, and the lead to 1 point, 10-9 at half for the Baltimore Ravens, who were playing well defensively. Offensively, Tyler Huntley looked like he was about to have a legacy game until, well, let's get there first. Joe Burrow punches it in, QB sneak, 1-yard touchdown run to start the scoring in the second half, 10-17. Demarcus Robinson, they score. By the way, they score a 2-pointer to make it 7 points. Demarcus Robinson has a 41-yard touchdown catch, a laser from Tyler Huntley to Demarcus Robinson to make it 17-17. Again, Tyler Huntley looked like he was about to have a legacy game. Would have been funny had he won a playoff game for the Ravens and not Lamar Jackson. But in the end, the legacy game was also sort of a bittersweet legacy because Tyler Huntley goes for a QB sneak. He jumps the line. They don't push him over. He jumps the line. Everybody is in front trying to push him. The Bengals strip the ball before he crosses the plane. He doesn't cross the plane. Sam Hubbard catches it, scoops it, goes all the way back 98 yards to return it for a touchdown. 17-24. The Ravens can't score again. The Bengals don't score again. But the Bengals win at home at Paycor Stadium. The Jungle. They win, and they do enough. Was it the best Bengals game? No. Did I expect them to roll the Ravens? Yes. They didn't. But here's the thing. Just because you don't roll somebody don't mean you played well. I think with all the situations thrown towards the Bengals in this game. Their offensive line not being what they wanted it to be. Of course, they had 3 players missing throughout the game, 3 of their starters through Week 15, who made the line better. This looked more like last year's playoff line, but Joe Burrow, as we know, can handle that and do enough to win a game. Jamar Chase, he's down there somewhere. Joe Burrow is Tom Brady 2.0, except he can run. That's about it. Everything's the same, just Joe Burrow can run. If he couldn't, he'd be screwed. With that being said, funnily enough, they both had ACL injuries, even though Burrows was in his rookie year. With that being said, though, the Bengals do enough. Zach Taylor lit enough of a fire under their ass to get them to play better defensively, which they did in the second half by far. They still got gashed a good bit by the Ravens' running attack. But in the end, they stood firm when it really mattered. They stood firm when it really mattered. The scoop and score, the sneak that was supposed to turn into a scoop and score, stood firm. The last drive, they stood firm. Offensively, wasn't the best, but they held the ball long enough to make sure that the defense could stand firm. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yes, the Bengals need to be better, but I think they will be against the Bills, because the thing about the Ravens is even though they've lost Ray Lewis years ago, a decade ago at this point, and Terrell Suggs a couple of years ago, they're still a tough defensive team, and the Ravens are still a different beast in the playoffs. They may suck in the regular season. They may be mid and still make the playoffs, but when they play in the playoffs, the Ravens are a force to be reckoned with. Trust me, I know. Whether it is Lamar Jackson, whether it is Joe Flacco, which is really where they get that characterization. Not really Lamar. It's really, actually, funnily enough, the last couple of years have been sort of the reverse. They've been great in the regular season, horrible in the playoffs. But this felt like, let's put it like this, this felt like a throwback Ravens team where they still have that designation, but it was really Joe Flacco that gave him that designation, and Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis, of they're a different beast in the playoffs. This felt like one of those games. And it would have been funny had Tyler Huntley won a playoff game for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson hasn't. It would have been funny. Because people are saying, oh, Tyler Huntley, Walmart Lamar. Well, it would have been funny because he's, well, great value Lamar, and Lamar, well, fraud. And he'll still get paid a bag by the Jets. See how that turns out. Actually, no, it may be better because the Jets' defense is honestly better, but we'll see how that turns out. With that being said, Lamar's gone. He wasn't even at the playoff game. But hey, at least you got Tyler Huntley, so maybe it's not all bad. Or the scoop and score broke him, because it kind of did in the rest of the game. So maybe it breaks him for the rest of his career. I don't know. That's painful, though. Legitimately, that is painful. I'm not going to lie. That is painful to see that go down. Like, that be the reason you lost a playoff game? After playing pretty damn well? A scoop and score where your quarterback kind of goes rogue? Where everybody is just being pushed into sneaks except Tom Brady. He's just good at sneaks by himself. It's always been his thing. Tyler Huntley jumps over and gets swatted and stripped, and it goes all the way back. And you could say there was a block in the back there on Andrews, but he was kind of selling it. Good no call. I didn't really see it. Good no call. And the Bengals win. And they're still going on to the AFC Divisional against the Bills, and I think that's a better matchup. And I think they'll be better next week. I think they will be better next week, and the Bills still are going to have the same problems they did this week. I don't think that changes, and they had the problems in Week 16, or Week 17, actually. Let's remember they added a week. Still not used to it. Well, technically, it was their Week 16, wasn't it? Technically. With that being said, I think the Bengals will still beat the Bills. We'll talk about it later in the week. The Bengals, they played a good game. It was just a knockdown, drag-out fight like these games normally are in the AFC North, but especially Ravens. games against divisional opponents. It always happens like this. So, with that being said, Bengals did enough. I would say out of the 3 teams that of their wins, I'd say the Giants had the best win, then the Bengals, then the Bills. I think the Bills sort of are raising alarm bells. Even though they won, it's still raising alarm bells. But with that being said, that's day 2 of Wild Card Weekend. Super Wild Card Sunday. Great day. Great day. Great games. I'm 3-5. I was right about the Bengals winning, by the way. 3-5 so far on wild card picks. But both those teams are still not going past the divisional round in my book. So a 10 out of 13 overall, still possible. Of course, San Francisco's playing Tampa Bay. I both have them in the NFC Championship. So if San Francisco loses, that's -1 as well if everything else stays the same. If Tampa Bay loses, that's -3. So, yeah. But best case scenario, an extra -1, 10 out of 13 on my full predictions of the whole playoffs. With that being said, though, tomorrow I shall see you for a live watch-along and review of Dallas Cowboys at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Wild Card, Monday Night Football. Should be a great one. I'll see you tomorrow night. And that probably should get better views than everything else because it's just about one game. I guarantee you that'll probably happen. But I'll see you tomorrow. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in play. Share with friends and family. What a great weekend. And we still got 1 more game to go. And then 3 more playoff rounds to go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.